Alright, ladies and gentlemen, just going straight to this video. We're going to talk about the NBA game I watched tonight and go over college football news. So, let's, San Antonio Spurs. Let's talk about the San Antonio Spurs beating the Boston Celtics 195 in this NBA game I watched here tonight. So, the Spurs get a 195 victory. Wembanyama scored 16 of his 21 points in the second half, including a game-sealing jumper with 19 seconds left. It was a two-point game. He hit the game-sealing shot, and the Spurs beat the Celtics. De'Aaron Fox also finished with 21 points for the Spurs. I believe he had 21 points, 9 rebounds, and like 6 assists, and 9 of 16 shooting. Calvin Johnson added 18 points and 10 rebounds off the bench in this ball game. And Calvin Johnson added 18 points and 10 rebounds off the bench. So, San Antonio won its second straight after losing 2 games in a row. Derek White led Boston with 29 points tonight. Jaylen Brown had 27. The Celtics lost for just the third time in 12 games. The game was actually tied at 84 after Baylor Shireman hit a three-pointer. What is happening? A corner three. Pushed Boston ahead with just under 7 minutes left, which White followed with a driving basket before the Spurs went on a 9-2 run, taking a 93-91 lead after a three-pointer. Brown tied it up. Wemby hits a fadeaway jumper to put him back in front, and then a left-wing jumper. Playing his third straight game after missing a pair with a sore knee. He didn't score his first 5 points until hitting a three from the top midway into the second quarter. But he got going in the second half, scoring 9 consecutive points midway into the third, bringing the Spurs back from a 9-point deficit to tie the game on his three-point play, coming off a victory over the Raptors a night earlier. Celtics seemed locked in defensively against Wemby early, mixing in double teams and sending a few players out quickly when he attempted to drive, but Wemby's just too good, man. Took over in the second half, but he had 16 of it. How many points did he have tonight? Like I said, 21 points, I think. 21 points off the bench, 16 of those come in the second half. Once Wemby got going, it was hard to stop him. Celtics done good defensively in the first half, but just not enough in the second half. Spurs really stole one here from Boston, man. They really stole this one. I mean, coming off a big win at home against the Lakers, but they're still searching for an offensive rhythm as led them for weeks. The Spurs didn't necessarily find it tonight, but they played solid defense against one of the hottest teams in the league. Managed to stay close throughout, made clutch plays on both ends. Some random observations. This random thought before this game. Why is this game a late tip-off, 8 Eastern? When the Spurs play again on tomorrow, what will be an early tip-off, and it's not nationally televised, so I'm not sure what the reasoning is. The NBA schedule never makes sense. The Spurs' three-point shooting struggles continue in the first quarter. 15 of their 25 attempts were threes with only 2 makes. They need to get their three-point shooting going. And it's not a good strategy against the Celtics team that takes and makes the most threes in the league but lacks rim protection. Meanwhile, Celtics go 4 for 10 and we're moving the ball better. And it was another career night for Julian Champagnie, but not like last week. It wasn't his finest offensive game, but he had a career-high 13 rebounds, last of which came on a huge offensive rebound there at the end. Sohan's spot in the rotation may not be completely promised yet. An uneventful 4-minute stint in the first half, so they might be done with him, honestly. But yeah, this was a fun little game here. It was kind of low scoring, I guess, for today's NBA, where most of these games are like high hundreds. But it was a back-and-forth game, so I enjoyed it. Let's go over the box score here. So the Spurs, they improved to 27-11. They improved to 14-6 on the road. They scored 100 points. They scored 21 in the first quarter, 29 in the second quarter, 23 in the third quarter, and 27 in the fourth quarter. Boston, they dropped to 24-14, 12-7 at home. They had 95 points, 26 in the first quarter, 29 in the second quarter, 20 in the third quarter, and 20 in the fourth quarter. So let's go over the Spurs box score. Castle had 9 points, went 3 for 16. Fox, 21 points, went 9 for 16, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Luke Cornett, 5 points, 7 rebounds. Julian Champagnie, 12 points, 13 rebounds. Harrison Barnes, 6 points, 2 for 8. Calvin Johnson, 18 points, 6 for 13, 10 rebounds, and made 2 threes off the bench. Wembanyama, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks, 8 for 17, 1 of 4 from 3 off the bench. Dylan Harper, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 for assists. They shot their shooting splits 40 from the field, 23 from the 3, 70 from the line, 53 boards, 22 assists, 8 turnovers, 5 steals, 4 blocks, 12 boards, 41 D-boards, and 13 fouls for the Celtics. Hugo Gonzalez, 0 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Peyton Pritchard, 4 points, 2 for 9. Jaylen Brown, 27 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. 7 assists, 8 rebounds, 11 to 28. Derek White, 11 to 26, 29 points, 5 to 17 from 3, 9 rebounds. Neemias Queta, 9 points, 13 rebounds, 4 for 6. Luka Garza, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 4 of 6, 3 of 4 from the field. Baylor Shireman, 10 points, 4 for 5, 2 of 3 from 3. Anthony Simons with 5 points. Their shooting splits 41, 36, 75, 52 boards, 22 assists, 10 turnovers, 5 steals, 5 blocks, 9 O boards, 43 D boards, and 18 fouls. So 195 is your final score of this game. I'm going to now move on to the college football news. But this was a fun little game here tonight on a Saturday night for the National Basketball Association. So let's start with Hayes Falls. I don't think I'm going to get through everything here, but I'll try and get through as much as I can. So Texas true freshman linebacker Elijah Bo Barnes is committed to Kentucky. He was a 5-star recruit, number 1 linebacker of the 2025 on 300. He'll have 4 years of eligibility left. How about Will Stein getting a 5-star recruit, number 1 linebacker? He'll have 4 years of eligibility left. Tennessee transfer defensive back Boo Carter is committed to Colorado. He tells on 3 Sports, one of the top DBs in the portal. Florida State true freshman wide receiver Javan Boggs will withdraw his name from the transfer portal and will return to Florida State. Wake Forest transfer receiver Chris Barnes is committed to Oklahoma State. Baylor transfer running back Bryson Washington is committed to Auburn, one of the top running backs in the portal. South Carolina transfer receiver Vandrevius Jacobs is committed to Miami. Georgia Tech transfer tight end Luke Harping is committed to Florida. He'll have 3 years of eligibility. Boston College transfer defensive back Omar Thornton is committed to Miami. Tells on 3, one of the top DBs in the portal. This is from On 3 Sports. Auburn transfer receiver Eric Singleton is signed with Florida. So, man, Dallas Wilson, VB3, and Eric Singleton, man, it's going to be nasty, man, with that offense. Michigan transfer tight end Brady Preekshorn is committed to Ole Miss. He'll have 4 years of eligibility. He was a top 10 tight end in the 2024 class. Duke transfer wide receiver Quayshawn Brown is committed to Virginia Tech. 2 years of eligibility left, 105 receptions for 1,291 yards and 7 TDs through 2 seasons. He'll have 2 years of eligibility left. Georgia transfer safety John Aguero is committed to Ole Miss. Ohio State true freshman safety Fahim Delane is entering the transfer portal. Alabama transfer edge Noah Carter is committed to Georgia Tech. And how about Kentucky, man? We got some big players today. Tennessee transfer standout offensive tackle Lance Hurst committed to Kentucky. He's the number 20 player, number 2 offensive tackle in the On 3 portal rankings. So great, man. Got Lance Hurst and Elijah Barnes today. Some big time players. Will Stein got today. Class of 2027 safety Gary and Hobbs is committed to Indiana. 4-star corner Allen Evans is committed to Louisville. 4-star ATH Monsana Torber is committed to Indiana. South Carolina transfer wide receiver Brian Rose committed to UCLA. 4-star wide receiver Jahad Brown has committed to Indiana, so some Indiana commits right there. Class of 2027 defensive lineman Devin Robertson has committed to Oklahoma. Chaz Coleman, Penn State transfer edge, is committed to Tennessee. He was the number 3 overall prospect in the transfer portal. 4-star corner Arian Washington is committed to USC. 4-star linebacker Taven Epps is committed to Oklahoma. Florida transfer Nashawn Montgomery is committed to Missouri. Florida State transfer Edwin Joseph Jr. is committed to Ole Miss. Ole Miss corner Chris Graves Jr. is entering the transfer portal. Mercer transfer corner Carmelo O'Neal has committed to Alabama. LSU true freshman offensive lineman Tyler Miller plans to enter the transfer portal. Iowa transfer safety Keon Ettringer has committed to Louisville. Syracuse transfer linebacker Derek McDonald is committed to North Carolina. Purdue transfer Nitro Tuggle is committed to South Carolina. Penn State transfer linebacker Amari Campbell is committed to Tennessee. Florida State transfer linebacker Justin Cryer is committed to Texas. I think we went over everything there from Hayes Fawcett right here. So from On 3, Nebraska transfer quarterback Dylan Raiola is expected to visit Oregon. Okay, man. USC true freshman transfer quarterback Houston Longstreet is set to visit LSU this weekend. He's a former 5-star recruit. I think it's all from on 3. I know Florida transfer DJ Lagway will visit Ole Miss this weekend. I didn't report it, but I read something the other day in one football news. He's committed to Baylor. No, it's not confirmed. He will visit Ole Miss this weekend. Quarterback Taven Jackson is committed to North Texas UCF transfer. Wake Forest, Reginald Vick is committed to Colorado State. We already talked about Elijah Barnes. Florida State edge Jadam Jones is signed with Missouri. Penn State edge Anaya White has entered the transfer portal. Victor Evans III is going from FIU to Nebraska. We already talked about Bo Carter. Penn State running back Tiki Hayes has entered the transfer portal. Oregon linebacker Kamar Mothudai enters the transfer portal. Oklahoma State transfer receiver wide receiver return specialist Gavin Freeman is committed to Tennessee. Harvey Dyson's going from Tulane to NC State. North Carolina transfer Jake Johnson is committed to Auburn. Michigan transfer edge Devin Baxter signed with Virginia. Rasheem Biles, Pitt standout transfer linebacker, is committed to Texas. Hayes Fawcett reports from the transfer portal. Arkansas defensive lineman has committed to Texas State. Peyton Joseph is going from Georgia Tech to Oklahoma. Georgia State safety D.I.C. Hopkins has committed to Liberty. Clemson transfer interior offensive lineman Rowan Burton is signed with North Carolina. Cal wide receivers Javian Plummer plans to enter the transfer portal. North Carolina defensive lineman C.J. Mims plans to enter the transfer portal. We all talked about that. Notre Dame is predicted to land another standout transfer portal prospect, and Michigan's Pete Nagel's logged a prediction for them to land a top portal target. Noah Carter, Alabama transfer edge, is committed to Georgia Tech. FIU offensive lineman Villami last name is entering the transfer portal. I think maybe when Ohio State safety Fahim Delane plans their transfer portal. Might have talked about that. I don't know. LSU transfer Destin Hill signed with Tulane. North Carolina transfer quarterback Bryce Baker is committed to Virginia Tech. DeJuan Lane committed to Tennessee. I've already talked about that. Ole Miss transfer linebacker Jaden Yates is committed to Houston. And Duke Watson, Louisville running back, is going to UCF. West Florida wide receiver Tyree Hallway signed with LSU. North Carolina transfer quarterback Max Johnson signed with Georgia Southern. Missouri edge Nate Johnson signed with Auburn. Kansas State quarterback Amari Odom is signed with Syracuse. So Syracuse got a quarterback, Brian Fuller. Angelo State transfer is committed to Arkansas. Notre Dame transfer linebacker Bodie Cahoon is signed with Boston College, and Jimothy Lewis is going from Mississippi State to Cal. Alabama offensive lineman Akral Anuguam has committed to Northwestern. Kansas State transfer safety Colby McAllister signed with Baylor. Chris Graves Jr. Ole Miss corners entered the NCAA transfer portal. San Jose State running back Steve Chavez Soto has entered the transfer portal. Zion Chapman's going from FIU to Minnesota. Might really almost be it. Tennessee transfer lineman William Satterwhite is signed with LSU. Grant Jordan's going from UMass to Yale to UMass to Oklahoma State. Central Oklahoma linebacker Jack Puckett will visit Oklahoma State on Saturday. USF starting center Colt Best has entered the transfer portal. I think it might be it. Elijah Reed's going to Indiana. Akron transfer. Colorado State transfer linebacker Robert Edmond Jr. signed with Illinois. Kansas State edge Deshaun Ross enters the transfer portal. He was a 4-star. Amari Campbell, Penn State transfer, is committed to Tennessee. There's a bunch of other players here. Just so much news to go over. I can't cover it all in one video, but I think we pretty much went over everything. So, yeah, that's all I'll say for this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe for more. Peace.